Hello guys, it's Adelina. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome. I'm in public law and I do content about motivation. I talk about study methods and discipline and productivity and everything related to that. Lately, I have been listening to the podcast. Oh, first of all, you are perhaps wondering about the new environment, and this is my new apartment. So yeah, I've moved. For those of you who've been here for a while, you might recognize that there's a different background. But if we get back to the video, I wanted to talk about time management today. So I'm in law, and in every field of law, there are general principles of law. These principles are supposed to help you navigate that field of law. Usually, any new laws that come up and that are, made by the legislator usually are in tune with those principles. So obviously, I like to think of things in principles. And lately, I have been thinking a lot about time management. And recently, I was listening to a podcast episode by The Hypnotist. I really enjoyed that podcast. You can find it on Spotify. I find it very, very motivating. And he was talking about principles for time management, which really inspired me. And there were, I think, 3 that he mentioned, and then I came up with one on my own. But the principles of time management that always can help you navigate how you should manage your time, how you should plan your time, how you should schedule are prioritization, delegation, evaluation, and delaying. Not necessarily in that order. And I'm going to explain briefly what all of these principles mean to me. But first, I want to tell you why this might be important to learn. So, he was talking about, I don't know the hypnotist's name, but in the episode, he was talking about how important it is to feel, not for it to necessarily be the truth, but how important it is to feel like your resources exceed your demands rather than your demands exceeding your resources, because that is how all of us lose motivation when we feel overwhelmed. And managing your time well can make you feel like you are in control, like you are good at time management, and that can in turn lead to motivation. So now let's get into the 4 core principles for time management. I think I'm gonna say them in order how I would apply them, in what order I would apply them. So the very first thing I would do is an evaluation. With an evaluation, I mean I would list everything that I have to do. For example, this week. Okay, now I have it in front of me. I have evaluated everything I need to do this week, everything that's on my mind, just whatever it might be, I have written it down. The second principle is prioritization. What needs to be prioritized first? What is the most important thing to do first this week? Not what I want to do, not what feels important, but what is the most important thing. And, all of us prioritize different things, and that's where each unique human comes into picture. Like, whatever is important to you. So for me, I value my work a lot. Usually my work commitments will always come first to me. And then second to that, I also value my relationships. So I will make sure I send my sister a happy birthday message. So all these things are very, very personal, but prioritize, that's the next step. And a principle that some people may think is actually the same thing as prioritization, but actually isn't for me, is delaying. Daring, being brave enough to delay something that you actually don't need to do. The thing about people who always strive for productivity is that sometimes we lose sight of what needs to get done right now and just try to kind of do things perfectly and do everything and do as much as we can. But I would argue that's not always the goal. Sometimes it's a good idea to delay something. Sometimes that's just okay. That's just how life works. All of us do not have unlimited energy. We do not have unlimited resources. It's just simply what we need to do. And then, last but not least, we are at the principle of delegation for time management. And delegation means to delegate. And this is something that I really struggle with because I'm a little bit of a control freak, because I want to do everything my way, because, you know, when it comes to my stuff, I always think I can do it the most. I don't want to burden anyone for the first, and I don't want to, I want it done my way. But this is an area where I've learned to release control, and I think it's made me a better colleague, a better friend. I think it's made me just a better daughter, a better sister, because when you delegate things to people, people like to help out. Like as long as you actually return the favor sometime, people like to help out. People can surprise you. So for delegation, for example, I knew that when my mom gets off work, she will pass the city, like the city center, and I wanted her to pick something up from the dressers, because I had some clothes tailored from the tailor. And usually I would never ask her for that. Like I just wouldn't. I would just do it myself, because that's the way I've always been. I've been extremely independent, always, and I don't like to burden other people. But I tried to do things differently this time, and I asked her, and she was very happy to do it, and that led to much less stress for me. What would have taken hours for me was just a stop by for her on her way home. And that's what I mean by delegation. To manage your time, sometimes ask for help. And that's everything, guys. And I really hope this was helpful for you. And I'm really sorry about the long time that I've been gone, but I'm back now. I'm more settled, and we're going to get into some really exciting topics. I hope you all are well and thriving. And I'm here again just when school starts. I'm going to make this year for you the best year you've ever had. But we need to work together. So if you have anything to add, please leave it in the comments. Goodbye.